Hello, everyone. I am Koi Harasha, and I am a humble transmitter of wholeness. And today, I would like to talk about the meaning of power. So, we just covered love and wisdom, and I view this as like the third pillar of consciousness. Um, and so, I define power as the ability to make wise decisions. So, when we talked about wisdom, we talked about the ability to know what are the good decisions to achieve goals are. But power is like the ability to actually execute on that wisdom. So an analogy of knowledge is the map of the United States, and wisdom is the knowledge of how to navigate from like Los Angeles to New York. Power is the actual ability to actually navigate. So it could be like an analogy of the car. You need a car to get from LA to New York, or a plane or some sort of vehicle to take you there, and that's power. Because you could have a map, you could know exactly how to get there and not have a vehicle and not be able to achieve that goal. So you need this like extra ingredient of power to actually achieve your goals. Even if you know how to do something, it's different than actually doing it. Another example is like eating healthy. Most people have the wisdom to say I should eat more fruits and vegetables and less sugar, less desserts. Should eat more salads, and they have that wisdom, but they often lack the power to actually eat healthier. So they have the wisdom but don't have the power. And like the way to get this power, I see is the first step is caring, which is love. So power is tied to both wisdom and love, because you need the wisdom to make to to actually make the decisions. That power will let you enable to achieve your goals, but you also need love to fuel that power. So, like you can imagine an analogy that the gasoline is like love. So if power is the car, you need something that powers the engine of the car, which is, in my view, is love. And part of this is, like power often has a lot of negative connotations to it. Like those powerful people are evil. You may think, hey, they don't have love. How do they have power? And I sort of view this as this love or caring can be positive or negative. It can be self-focused or outward focused towards others. So say if you have love, so a lot of these quote powerful evil people who run the world are like CEOs or politicians who they're very powerful, but they don't always act in the best interests of others. But they have kind of an extreme caring or love for themselves, you could say, and that is the fuel for their power. Is this kind of self love, self how much they value themselves. So they're willing to lie or cheat or do lots of things that help them expand their power because they care so much about themselves. But for me, I prefer to view the other direction of love as fueling the power, which is caring about other people so much. Like you really care about other people, and you really value other people such that it empowers you to take action to help them. So it's kind of like a positive power and a negative power. Same with like wisdom. There's like positive wisdom and a negative wisdom, which is like you could use your wisdom and power to make yourself like everybody can kind of serve you, or you can kind of use your wisdom and power to best serve other people and serve the world. I advocate for serving the world. That's kind of my polarization there. But power does have this kind of two aspects, and I'm going to focus more on the power of serving other people, but some of it does apply both ways. So once we have this caring, like either you care a lot about yourself or you care a lot about others, or maybe you care a lot about both. Like I really like if you really want to serve other people, you often need to care a lot about yourself. Like you really need to be healthy so that way you can use your power outwards, because if you're sick in bed or you have low on energy, it's going to be very hard to be powerful to help other people. So like positive negative power, some examples in history you can imagine, like Jesus was a very powerful person, but he was the positive. So he transformed the world, but because he loved other people so much. But say someone like Stalin or Hitler, or they kind of were very powerful people, but a lot of it was driven inwards of what they thought was best for the world. They wanted to transform the world based on what they thought was best, as opposed to, I just want to serve other people to help them be healthier and happier. Okay, and so one of the first attributes of power I want to talk about is discipline. Because we have to, in order to be powerful, we have to consistently make good decisions. And that is an alignment with discipline, the capability of continuously making good decisions. And of course, this relies on wisdom, because we need to know what the good decisions are, but we also have to continuously act on what we know is the best decision. So another aspects of discipline are like routines and habits. If you have a routine of like doing something, making a good decision, it's a lot easier to keep doing it. You get like this sort of momentum that lets you continuously make this good decision. But if you're kind of like wishy-washy about it, it's kind of like a lot more difficult to execute on something powerful. So for example, like exercise. So say if you exercise every single day in some capacity, maybe it's a walk or swimming or running or playing a sport, or just some sort of physical hobby. If you do it every day, you're much more likely to keep doing it. You have this discipline and this routine of exercising. But say if you just sort of exercise whenever you feel like it, it's just kind of like, I'll do it whenever I feel like it. There'll probably be long stretches of time where you're not actually exercising, and that will sort of end up, maybe you'll gain some weight, or you won't feel as free. You may be kind of stressed because you're not exercising. So the good decision is to exercise. Like, you don't want to over exercise, but most people are under exercising, and so you would want to establish a habit of exercise, or every other day, or some sort of routine, weekly routine or something, and that will be a demonstration of power to keep making this good decision. So the next thing I want to talk about for power is like skills and abilities. So powerful people have the ability to, they're making good decisions with discipline, but they also have kind of like an innate experience that lets them kind of make these decisions without much effort. And that's what I sort of view as skill. So you can develop a skill. So let's say you want to become powerful at golf. You really like golfing, and you want to hit this ball in the hole in as few shots as possible. And so you practice and practice and practice, and that will let you develop the skill of hitting that ball pretty accurately. Compared to someone who doesn't practice and doesn't have the skill, it'll take them a lot more shots to get the ball in the hole. So you could say that the person who has the skill of hitting this ball through practice, they're more powerful. And once you do something so many times over and over again, it just kind of the power just happens naturally. So you kind of automate it in a way in your body, because your body can just do this without thinking about it. So if you want to be powerful, you have to sort of develop these skills one at a time. But once you get one skill, you can go work on a new one, and this one can kind of just keep running, and it keeps. And so you accumulate lots of these skills. That's how you get more powerful. So like, say you want to develop the skill of like communication. You want to effectively communicate with people. So you may read some books. You may practice in all of your relationships at work, or your friends, or your family, and really focus on, how can I better communicate with other people? How can I better share the ideas that are in my head, and better understand the ideas in other people's heads? And once you study this, you may get really good at it, and you don't need to think about it anymore. It just happens naturally. And then you can go work on your golf, or whatever else you're passionate about that you want to become more powerful in, and you still have the skill that's running. And so you want to get lots of skills, and you'll be more powerful. So So you have discipline and skills. Um, the third aspect of power that I want to talk about is emotional regulation or emotional stability. In this way, that if you want to make good decisions, you often need to have a certain state of mind emotionally, like either a calmness or peace or happiness. So, say if you actually want to volunteer, if you're often in a depressed or anxious state, you often say, well, I don't feel like volunteering today because I have too much going on in my mind. I'm not emotionally ready for that, to help the world in that way with this volunteering. But if you're more peaceful and you're just like, I'm really happy today, I'm just enjoying it, I'll go volunteer, it sounds good. And this kind of emotional regulation will enable you to make that good decision to volunteer, which will help the world. Or for donating money, or for just maybe helping an old lady across the street. If you're in a bad mood, you're probably going to struggle to make these better decisions to serve other people in a powerful way. So if we can continuously serve other people and improve the world, that's how I view the ideal of power in my positive polarization. And then another aspect that I want to talk about is leadership. And this has to do with like one person trying to build a building by themselves, like, or create anything complex. They probably can't do it by themselves. What you need is a lot of people all working together. Everyone specialized in different things, and then a powerful person can lead all of these people together towards a goal. And so power is very tied to not just your own like discipline and skills, but leveraging the discipline and skills of other people to achieve a goal. And we call that leadership, leading people towards a goal. And of course, you can do it in positive and negative. You can lead a bunch of people to do some really terrible things, or you could lead a bunch of people to do some really awesome things for the world. And so, like, you could be a pharmaceutical CEO who pushes a drug that hurts a lot of people, but you make a lot of money off of it. You know, that's a powerful move. You might have made billions of dollars, but you know, you hurt a lot of people. Or you could be, let's say, the president, and you lead your country to help all the poor people. And this would be more of a positive way of using your leadership to, let's say, no, let's be kind, let's be patient. And you can lead these groups of people to create more harmony in the world. And that would be a sense of using power positively. Say like the Pope, maybe leading their religion in a certain path. Or, you know, other religious figures in history were attempted to lead people towards this kind of loving nature. But it does seem that power, at least on Earth, is often more in this negative sense. And I think there is like this sense of being afraid of power for people who are loving, people who want to serve the world. They're kind of afraid to think about power. Like, why would I want to be powerful? But if you think about all the people who are hurting the world, if we were more powerful to make better decisions, I think we could help a lot more people if we talked more about power and applying power in the right way. Yeah, so I think that's power. I want to talk a little bit now of like how power, love, and wisdom work kind of harmoniously, and how like that's kind of, if you have like strong power, love, and wisdom, you're kind of equipped to change the world. You can kind of accomplish anything you want to accomplish while being happy and working really hard. So if we started with love, I view love, we said, it's like the fuel, but it is also like driving enjoyment and passion. And I think if we get this caring and this passion, that is what inspires us to seek more wisdom and power, to use it in the right way. And from this, when we have to first care. So if we don't care about other people or ourselves, then it just is like, why would I learn wisdom? Why would I become more powerful? So love is like the foundation. It is what is kind of like, you have to choose to care, and then from there you'll be inspired to learn wisdom, to know what the right decisions are, and then from there you'll be inspired to obtain power to actually execute on those good decisions. If you try to jump to power without that wisdom, you're probably going to make a lot of bad decisions, but you may use them in like a chaotic way. Like you may be powerful in the sense of being able to do a lot of different things, skills. You may have some skills, but you don't know how to drive them towards a bigger goal, for example. So we go love, wisdom, and power. And if you have all three, love gets you happiness, wisdom will tell you what decisions to make, and power will let you make those decisions. And then we can kind of achieve anything we want to achieve, and build any meanings we want to create. Yeah, so that's my 3 videos on love, wisdom, and power, and I hope it was helpful to you. And I want you to always know that you're loved, and I bid you farewell.